RM Sotheby's is the world's largest collector car auction house by total sales. They are the preeminent market maker of high-quality collector cars and collections, regardless of size or complexity. By working in partnership with the Sotheby's team and its network of 80 offices in 40 countries, RM Sotheby's has established the largest client network of any collector car auction house in the world. Join the RM Sotheby's family by connecting with one of their car specialists at rmsotheby's.com or contact me directly at gstanley@rmsotheby's.com. LLC TLC is here to save you money on all of your vehicle purchases. LLC TLC will permanently register your classic cars in Montana to avoid any annual renewal fees. As your registered agent, they will handle everything for you so you never have to step foot in Montana. And as a listener of this podcast, LLC TLC is offering 30% off your entire package. Simply go to llctlc.com/classic or mention this podcast when you contact LLC TLC directly. All right, welcome to the Collector Car Podcast. Today I'm going to cover the Ron and Sarah Jury Grand National Collection, and to help me do this is Thatcher Keast. Thatcher, how you doing, buddy?
Good, Greg. How are you, man?
Good. I appreciate your time today. So this is an interesting collection that I know you are intimately aware of, and you know a lot about it. We'll get into that in a minute. But just to cover the details, this kicks off, October the 30th? Is that correct?
Yeah, October 31st is when bidding opens, and then bidding will conclude on November 6th. That's a Wednesday.
Okay. So this is a little different. This is strictly online only. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is an online-only auction. The basis for selling the collection is kind of time sensitive, so this was the best case scenario for both us and the client to make sure we get the best results for them.
Okay. All right. Now, it's my understanding that you have like a relationship with this family, or tell us how this collection came about to be sold through RM Sotheby's.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a long story short here. Ron and Sarah have been very nice to me and very kind to me my whole career here at RM, which is 10 years now. I met Ron and Sarah about 10 years ago at a Hershey auction, and ever since then we have been very good friends. We've kept in touch with each other, and we frequently visit about cars to purchase, buy, add to the collection, what to move along, and the time has just come for them to liquidate their whole collection and start to simplify their life.
Okay. That's common in the auction world, right? You know, it's time there's a time of putting the collection together, amassing new stuff, right? But it seems like there's also a time you realize I've had my fun and now I need to move on, correct?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just time for Ron and Sarah to move on to the next adventure.
Okay, that's great. Well, if you would, obviously we're not going to cover all these cars, but there's 30 lots. Looks like there's one automobilia, gas pump, but otherwise they're all cars. And what I love about this collection is they seem to be all like really clean, really nice. Obviously, they're called the Grand National Collection. So if you would talk a little bit about that. But I also love the fact that it's multiple price points. I think the most expensive high estimate is $190,000, and a low estimate on a different car is only $15,000.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's something for everyone, right?
Yeah, this collection is called the Grand National Collection, and the reason for that is there are 14 cars within this collection that have all been honored with the Grand National Award with AACA. That is a extremely difficult award to achieve. You have to show the car 3 times before you're even eligible to get the Grand National Award. And when you show them those 3 times, they also have to win. So you have to win a junior award, a senior award, and then you're nominated to win a Grand National Award. So it's a very time-consuming process to get a Grand National just on one car alone, and let alone 14. So that shows you how much dedication Ron and Sarah had to making sure their cars were perfect and that people saw them as being perfect and they were awarded as such.
Yeah, it's interesting because every once in a while someone will ask me, should I get my car judged to add value to the car? I'm like, well, I don't know if I'll add value, but it'll give bidders more confidence in buying the car. And then it will also speak to the fact that this is a quality restoration done with the correct parts or whatever. I mean, it obviously depends on the organization that does it. So obviously AACA, they're huge. They're a great organization in which to get judged through. It's not like your local cruise in where, at the ice cream shop. That's a totally different thing. So
no, these guys are serious.
Yeah, great pedigree. And as I roll through some of the collection here, you'll probably notice some of the cars have the AACA badges on the grills, right, of what won, which is pretty cool to have them on the outside of the car. So if you would kind of run through, let's take, I don't know, 4 or 5 of your favorite cars and just kind of talk about them a little bit. Ones that spoke to you, of the stuff, whether it's one that you helped them buy or once you saw their collection you fell in love with.
Well, I'll start with my favorite car and probably what the highlight of the collection. That's the 1970 Nova Deuce, the Yenko Deuce. Um,
Yep.
so this car was just certified by Jared McNeish this year, and which, for those of you that don't know, Jared McNeish is the be-all, end-all of Chevrolet high-performance vehicles. He's like the authoritarian of saying what's right and what's wrong. And Jerry's fully certified this car. This is only one of 175 Yenko Nova Deuces ever made, and it's one of the best cars that Jerry says he's ever certified. It's
Wow.
it's a phenomenal example. It's a Grand National Award-winning car. It's won dozens and dozens of other awards. It's got a factory correct LT1 V8 engine in it, which is a monster in a Nova, especially a car this light. It's got an automatic racing transmission, which is a pretty cool. It's not a manual transmission, but it's not automatic. It's kind of set up to do both, and it's probably one of the best Yenko Nova Deuces you'll ever find.
Yeah, it's beautiful red with the Yenko black striping, which is really
Yeah.
distinct on this car. Black interior, and you can just tell by looking at the pictures that it's such a quality build on this car. That's interesting. The racing, is that a factory? The automatic or the racing transmission?
Yes, it is. And the car also comes with its original 410 gears. He took them out so you can actually like drive it like a normal person, not a dragster.
Right.
So like
right.
it was purpose built to be a super drag car for the 70s.
Yeah, and it has the hood tack, which is really, really cool to see that. I mean, It
Yeah.
also looks like it has the power brakes, disc brakes, bench seat, which is interesting on that car. Yeah, you know what? Normally I'm not a Nova fan, but this is one I can really get into for sure. And it has, obviously, Yenko has such a great logo on the back of the trunk there for their dealership. So iconic to have any Yenko, right?
Everybody knows what it is.
All right, cool. All right, well, we
So-
started with the big one. What would be?
Yeah, so we're gonna jump to a smaller one here, value-wise, but one of my personal favorites in the entire collection, actually. It's a 1941 Chevrolet Special Deluxe 5-passenger coupe. It is lot number 115. The reason it's so special is that Ron is the second owner of this car,
Oh, wow.
and he got it from a gentleman in Nebraska where the Juries have a farm, and this was, if I remember the story correctly, this was payment for some work that was done, and the guy paid him with this car. But this car is a very interesting car because it has nearly every single factory option of accessories that you could get from Chevrolet in 1941. It's got options that I've never even seen before. It has a passing mirror, which was new to me. Ron had to educate me on what that is. So it's this little mirror that hangs outside of the driver's window, and it has two mirrors that face each other, and one is a bit adjacent. So if you're coming up behind a semi on a 2-lane road, you look up in this mirror, and it'll show you if the lane is clear for you to pass in the mirror.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just looking at.
It's got a vanity. It's got a passenger side vanity lighted mirror, which I've never seen before for your passenger. It's got all the air deflectors, all the air intakes, all the lights. It's got the fan on the steering column. It's got the cigarette asher. It's got the front sunshade. It's got the spotlight. It's got the rear view and side view mirrors. It's got the stoplight indicator. It's got the fog lights. It literally has every option, and it's 100% original. It's never been restored. It's a really cool piece of Chevrolet memorabilia.
That's what I was going to ask you, because when I look at these pictures, that dark green on the bottom, lighter green on the top, it looks like an unrestored car. I mean, obviously there's paint defects and wear through and different things, but that's what tells me it's original. So it is an original paint car?
Yeah, it's original everything. Like if you look at the interior pictures, you can see that the dash is just littered with all these options. It's got the steering wheel knob. You can see the fan on the console. You can see the stoplight handle. You can see the stoplight indicator spot. Like it's got everything, man. It's a really cool piece.
Yeah, when I saw the picture of the dash, I'm like, man, it looks like an antique store in there or something. I mean, there's so many little gewgaws and whatever.
Yeah, they're all factory options.
Wow, that's really cool. Now, what's the estimate on this car? Let's see.
This
here.
one's 20 to 25,000.
Wow. Okay. I bet it drives really nice too, considering.
Oh, it's never been taken apart. It drives like a brand new car. It's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. What's next on your list? Let's do three more.
Next is lot 118, the Z28 Camaro.
Yep.
This is also a Grand National winning car, and this is probably one of the best restored cars in his collection. Um, Ron purchased the car in 2019 and then spent another 25,000 to make it absolutely perfect, making it factory correct. Just fixing up. When you do a restoration, the last 10% is always the hardest part. So
Right.
Ron's gone to the extra 15% to make this a 110% car.
Right.
It is a, for lack of a better term, it is a badass muscle car. It's got the pistol grip shifter. It's the Z28. It's the colors you want. It's got painted stripes. Has all the accolades, all the awards. It'll win any car show you take it to. It's a phenomenal Camaro.
What I love about this car, a couple things. It's red on red. I love color on color cars right now, just because I happen to
Very
have
rare.
two. Yeah, and I'd love to see it next to that Nova because it's also kind of the same kind of shade of red with incredible black stripes. And just looking at the interior, I love the interior on this car. What a car! Now these
Yeah.
are interesting because you got to make sure it's a real Z28 because there's only I think one way in which you can check it out, and to have this kind of provenance on the car, certification from professionals, really gives you that comfort and bidding on this car because
Yeah,
it is quite. Yeah.
this one's also just recently certified this year by Jerry, so 2024 certification.
Yeah, 4-speed, high revving, 302 V8. What else do you want, right? That's
Yeah,
great.
it's a great car.
All right.
Up next, something a little bit different. One that really caught my attention. This one's actually Sarah's car in the collection. This is lot 106, the 1948 Chrysler Town and Country convertible.
Okay.
blue one?
Found
The
it.
blue,
Yep.
the blue two door.
Now this is 100 to 125. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is one of the best Town and Countries I've seen, and we've seen quite a few of these. We've sold a lot of them. The reason I say that is the condition and fitment of the exterior wood.
Right.
It is incredible. The seams are nice. There's no rotten spots anywhere. Ron and Sarah have gone to the nth degree to make this car award winning. It's a really nice cruiser. It runs and drives beautifully. The top works. The doors fit like a glove. They're big heavy wooden doors, and they just thud when they close. Very, very comfortable. Very nice running. Just a really great example.
Yeah. So for our audio only listeners, it's what dark blue, and you've got the two-tone wood on the sides with the tan top. Yeah, it's a stunning car for sure. These seem to be very based on the color, and I would say that this dark blue is one of the more favorable colors for this car. Would you agree?
Absolutely. This or green, and they happen to have a green one in the collection as well. They have a four-door.
Okay. All right. Now, just to be clear, these aren't all American cars. I do see a little Austin Healey 104 in. So there's a couple other options out here at Jaguar. So you got to really look at these to look at the collection. I bet you can find something that you would really like. All right. So what's the last one that you're going to talk about? Then I want to talk about two others real quick.
Okay, so the next one is lot 105. This is the 57 Chevy Bel Air fuel-injected convertible. The reason this is on my list is that this is one of the two Zenith Award-winning cars in their... one of two Zenith Award-nominated cars in their collection. So the Zenith Award is the top grand prize of the year for the AACA shows. So it is awarded to the most correct, perfect Concours restoration on any car throughout the year, and there's only a few nominees a year, and this was one of them. It is an absolutely beautiful example of a Bel Air. I have never seen a fuel injected Bel Air this nice. It has been loved and cherished. It's award winning to the nth degree. It's got junior, senior, Grand National, Zenith Award nominated, and it runs and drives like a mad dog. It's a really, really awesome car, and hence the price point on that. It's 175 to 185 for a Bel Air. Normally Bel Airs are quite a bit lower than that, but you don't find examples like this, and it definitely warrants that price.
Yeah, and these are These are beautiful. I saw this at Hershey and I was blown away by it because I just thought the quality was so good. And it's nice to have all this certification because, verifying a factory fuelie from 57, it's not like, it's my understanding, there's not a data tag that says fuelie. You got to have additional documentation in which to verify it's a true fuelie because they're so easily faked. And so having this with this kind of documentation and certification from the AACA, to me, really warrants that price considering the condition and the rarity of the car, because this is what you want of all the 55 to 57 Chevys. This is the top
Yeah,
of the heap. Colors,
yeah,
black, red interior.
it's the real deal.
Yeah. Well, I'll just talk on two more here real quick. I just
Sure.
liked, just looking at the pictures. I'm usually not a resto mod guy, but you've got this 69 Chevy Camaro RS SS convertible, red, black stripe, black interior. It's got aftermarket wheels. I mean, it's a really clean engine bay. It's got the firewall cleaned up, so it looks really nice. I just thought this looked like a really nice cruiser. It's got some comfortable seats. Have you had a chance to drive this thing around the block at all?
Yeah, I wouldn't call this thing a cruiser. This thing is a torque monster. It's got a ZL1 all aluminum V8 in it with a 5-speed manual transmission, and it is fast, man. Like the interior looks comfortable and cushy, but which it is, but it needs to be because this thing's a rocket ship.
Well, now I like it even more. All right, so
Yeah.
it's full of power. Love it. And then the last one I just wanted to highlight: 1963 Chevrolet Impala SS 409 convertible. My uncle has a coupe version that he bought in 1966 of 409, and I've always loved these cars. I think they're such a beautiful cruiser. Now this is black with red interior, 4-speed. It has the console with bucket seats. What are your thoughts on this car? Have you had some fun with this one?
Yeah, I drove this car too. It's an awesome example. I mean, it's your classic Impala body style. You got I like it because it's a 4-speed with a console. You don't often see that with the bucket seats. I mean, this goes for any of Ron's cars. You get in them and you hit the key and they start. Like, you don't have to pump the gas pedal, nothing. And this was one of the first ones I got in and moved, and it runs like a top, and it also runs like a bat out of hell. Like, this is your classic Impala SS.
Yeah, and I love the fact that it's black with a black top versus a white top. It's got the red interior. It looks really good. A lot of the colors that he's picked up for these cars, or that they came with, look really, really good. They're interesting, very cool color
Yeah,
options.
I mean, it's a 409. Like, it's your classic Impala 409 with a 4-speed transmission. It's badass.
Yeah, it's just great. Well, Thatcher, thank you so much as always for being on the Collector Car Podcast. Again, when does this kick off, and how can our listeners, join in on the fun?
Yeah, the bidding opens Wednesday, October 30th, and then it concludes on Wednesday, November 6th. So the way that you register to bid is rmsotheby's.com, and the entire auction will be held through our website. It is online only. And the most important part is it's no reserve, the entire collection.
So yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So is this where you have a new lot that goes off every 4 minutes, or
every 2 minutes? So the first lot will start to close at 11 a.m. on the 9th, and then every 2 minutes after that, the following lot will begin to close.
And then if someone throws in a bid within the last 2 minutes, does it extend it another 2 minutes or so?
Yep, it'll auto extend the lot 2 more minutes. So theoretically, bidding could go on for hours if people really, really want it within the last 2 minutes.
Yeah. So if you have 2 cars in a row that you want to bid on, make sure you're prepared, because you might have to have 2 computers going there.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate it. And we'll see you at the next show. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Greg.